My name's Nate Metz, and welcome to the soon-to-be award-winning pregame show on the Saints Sports Network. Thomas Moore's men's basketball is back in Crestview Hills, Kentucky, as they're taking on the Harriers of Miami Hamilton University on this lovely Tuesday night in Northern Kentucky. Hope all of you are ready for us to go live. We'll be taking it to the actual basketball action in about 10 minutes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about these two teams. Brady Laber's got an interview with Coach Justin Ray to talk about this upcoming season, some of the new faces that they have, and some of the returning players from their wonderful team that they had a year before. And then we'll take it live. Thanks everyone for tuning in. The soon-to-be award-winning pregame show starts right now. Can't wait to get this home season started, and it will here momentarily. First, though, let's talk about the game that Thomas More opened their season with on the road against the Indiana Wesleyan University Wildcats, the fifth-ranked team in not just their conference, but the NAIA. They are a very talented team, and Thomas More took it to them, beating them by 16 on the road. Reed Jolly, 27 points, the Mid-South Conference Player of the Week. That's the fourth time in his career that he has won that award, and I'm sure that by the time that Reed Jolly is through here in Crestview Hills, he will have a couple more. Brady Laber had a chance to talk with Coach Justin Ray about this upcoming season, the win that they had on the road, a couple of new faces, some of which we might get a chance to see tonight against the Harriers, and a little bit more. This is the Saints Sports Network. Brady, take it away.
Fans, this is Brady Laber on the Saints Sports Network on the soon-to-be award-winning pregame show. This time I'm with the head coach of the Thomas More Saints men's basketball team, Justin Ray. And Coach, I just wanted to start things off as we get the season kicked off to officially acknowledge and congratulate you guys on this very platform about last year's success, going to the Fab Four. And man, I guess it was just a missed tip in a way that prevented you for a chance to play in a national championship. Don't mean to bring up the sorrow, but man, there was a lot of joy that went in that run as well.
Yeah, no, thanks for saying that, Brady. It was, it was a special year. Those guys are going to remember that for the rest of their lives. Got hot at the right time after that loss in the conference tournament championship. I was so proud of those guys, when we did finally lose, and that was about as heartbreaking as it could be. But we did it to ourselves, man. We were down 16 in the first half of that game. Now, I give us a lot of credit. We fought it back out at the overtime, and it ended the way it ended. But, those guys will be remembered forever. I'm sure they'll go in as a team of distinction, at some point. But first Mid-South Conference championship, broke the school record for most wins. First team All-American, all the individual accolades that came with it. Those guys are, bonded together forever because of the run that they made.
So with that success, it obviously brings lofty expectations as you begin this season. You're ranked number 2 nationally in the polls. And I guess the days of you guys flying in under the radar in the NAIA ranks are pretty much out the window, right?
Yeah, I'd say so. I've told the guys that we're not going to sneak up on anybody. And that was kind of that way last year. I think we were in the top 25 all year last year and started in the 20s, I think, somewhere. But it's good to have that respect. It's exciting for the university to be number 2 in the country and for our program, and certainly helps with recruiting and all that great stuff. But, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what we did last year. Doesn't matter what we did the year before that. It's you got to go out and prove it every single night. And with a bigger target kind of on your back. So if you don't bring it, man, you're going to get your rear end handed to you, and you're going to be humbled real quick.
For sure. And you guys started off this season on the road against a very tough opponent. You guys led pretty much start to finish, getting the win up at Indiana Wesleyan. And it sure did look like Reed Jolly might be back to his old self after, spending, a lot of the season last year kind of hampered by injuries.
Yeah, he's had a great summer, Brady. I mean, I think, this may have been the first summer since he's been with us where he was completely healthy and no time to rest that was needed for him. Indiana Wesleyan, I got a ton of respect for those guys and what they've done for a long, long period of time, just winning machine up there. Our guys knew it. We were excited about the opportunity to start out, going up there 2 versus 5 in the country. And we got off to a little bit of a slow start, and once we calmed down and collected ourselves and gained control of the game, we never lost it. So, and they made a bunch of runs. So I was proud of the way that we were able to respond when they were hitting us with some punches, and we were able to punch back. But to start off with a win, especially that a win of that caliber is, getting us on the right foot early.
And of course, with the new season, you've got newcomers into the program. You guys lost some really great players, and of course, you brought in some new ones. Even though you still have a veteran core. Talk about you had a couple guys who transferred into the program, Scotty Drought and Matt Smith, who saw time on the floor. Kind of talk about those guys and some of the other newcomers that you're hoping to make an impact this season.
Yeah, I mean, new guys are, sometimes some of them take a little bit longer to figure some things out than others. And that's weathering that storm early is part of the challenge, because there are certain things we can't run when you've got a new guy out there. Defensively, they're still figuring out how we do things and how hard you have to play, and because everywhere is different. But I thought Scotty did a great job. Coming in there, banging in a 3. He had some big defensive plays for us. Matt Smith, held it down, gave Pack a blow, and was able to maintain the level of play. Had a nice dump down, his first points in a Saints uniform. Got some rebounds as well. I thought he defended well, took care of the basketball. And then Derek Eddings, who's been waiting. This is his 3rd year in our program. He's been hurt basically since he's been here. He came in and banged in a 3, got 2 offensive rebounds, so he was being productive while he was out there. And then we've got a slew of other guys on the bench that, in that particular game didn't get the call, but they might going forward. Guys we're excited about and think, eventually could, break their way into the lineup somewhere. So we're excited about this year's, the roster makeup with the old and the new guys. But we've got unselfish guys that play together and want to win more than anything. And I think that's the most important thing.
Now, you got the home opener tonight coming up against Miami Hamilton, and it's your first time to play in front of the home fans this season at the Connor Convocation Center. And I'm sure your guys, after all the hard work during the summer and the preseason and all that other stuff, are probably really looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, I think the CCC is one of the best atmospheres in small college basketball. The Thomas More community, the way they rally around us and Coach Hands and the ladies. There's just I've played in a lot of gyms and coached in a lot of gyms where there's nobody. So we've got a special thing here. Success and winning certainly helps. But there's nothing like a home game in Crestview Hills.
Yeah, and this is probably an opportunity tonight for some guys that normally don't get a lot of game reps, or guys like you're talking about that might have expected to play Saturday that are just waiting for an opportunity, down the line. Just talk about, how guys might be able to be rewarded tonight, with their hard work that a lot of people don't see behind the scenes when you don't come to practice.
Well, Miami Hamilton, they're about as far as the branch schools that are around here. I mean, they've got a lot of really good players. I mean, they had one guy drop 20 on us last year, Ryan Marshall, who used to be here. He could play at this level. They've got a lot of really good players. They got an Elder guy, they got a Moeller guy, they got winners over there. So, these guys, the conversation yesterday is you got to respect every opponent. You can't, because they're not an NAIA team. Look at them a certain way. So, and it's always about us at the end of the day anyway. So this is about us executing and getting better and improving on the things we need to improve on. So I don't go into it thinking, man, I hope, we can get this guy in there, that guy in there. We're going to play our game and hopefully we can come out of it with a win and get better at a lot of things that we need to work on.
Sounds good, Coach. We'll see you tonight. Best of luck against Miami Hamilton.
Thanks, Brady. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Brady, and thank you to Coach Justin Ray for that great interview, getting you all ready, not just for tonight's game, but the entire 2022-2023 season. And the home broadcast, the first one of the year, is about to begin. Hope you all are ready to go live here on the Saints Sports Network.
Officials, student athletes, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the site of competition. Now, if you would please stand and remove your hats for the officiating prayer. Almighty Father, we thank you for the many blessings given to us here at Thomas More University. We ask that you bless the student athletes, coaches, and officials participating tonight. We ask you to watch over our fans and our safe families. Lord, we also remember our first responders and those in our armed forces who protect and care for us. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you. Now please remain standing to honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
All set to go here on the Saints Sports Network. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks so much for tuning in to this presentation of NAIA basketball. It's the Harriers of Miami Hamilton University coming down to take on the Thomas More University Saints. Hey, that's Brady Labor with you on the call. Brady, my man, we've got a great one set up tonight. Thomas More coming off of a big-time win on the road against a number 5 team in the NAIA, looking to take care of business tonight.
Yeah, huge win there on the road for the Saints, and now they plan to come back to their home arena for the first time this year, and it should be a big, good old-fashioned good one here.
And for the Harriers, they're undefeated on the year, but they're taking a significant step up in class tonight, taking on these Saints.
They played a pair of junior colleges to get their season started, and as members of the USCAA, I mean, I hate to say this, but it's a fact. They're kind of a club team, so that they are allowed to have junior colleges on their schedule, as well as other non-NCAA, non-NAIA certified teams. So it's a different animal. On their level, they're very competitive, but this is a whole different level here tonight, Dave.
And for Thomas More, as we see their starting lineups out there, let's go through them real quick. Reed Jolly, Mid-South Conference Player of the Week, winning that award for the 4th time in his career. Wyatt Veith, Jacob Jones, Casey George, Noah Pack, a talented group of 5, Brady, that we've seen a lot of before.
It's a veteran core. A couple of guys are first-time starters, so there's something that has to be gotten used to there. But you're right, these are guys that have logged a bunch of minutes here, and especially a lot of minutes deep into the season, as of course this team is coming off of a Fab Four appearance from last year.
And for the Harriers, their starting lineup, they'll send out Ryan Marshall, Jameson Bradley, King Goss, Aiden Turner, and Josh Scantlin. Ryan Marshall, we're familiar with him, Brady. He used to be a Thomas More Saint himself.
Yeah, he did before he left to go to a junior college, Clark State Community College, and then ending up at Miami Hamilton. Was a USCAA All-American last year, was Ryan Marshall. So I'm glad he was able to find his footing and find his level, so to speak. He's played very well for them. He's their leading scorer at 15 points per game. But a lot of these guys are going to be people that you recognize, at least their high schools, as far as a lot of local guys, a lot of Southwest Ohio guys. So it's pretty interesting to see these guys come here and be able to, play in front of some familiar faces as well.
Yeah, and you have a brand as well. Most of these guys being local, able to showcase what they can do against a team that is ranked number 2 in the NAIA. And they had a big first win, Brady. We'll talk more about that as the game rolls on. But they just got to keep the good juices flowing as they prepare for Mid-South Conference play, which is coming up a lot sooner than we think.
Well, you know, they do that same thing I think the Horizon League does, where you have a weekend or two in December, and then you break off for the holidays and play a couple more non-conference games as well. So, yeah, I mean, you just got to be ready, and this is just a tune-up to hopefully get you ready for those early matchups once it comes to the early part of December, which is right around the corner.
Opening tip will be between Scantland and Noah Pack. Noah Pack in that first game of the season ended up coming away 7 for 8 on the floor. Hit every basket he shot from inside the three-pointer. Got to look for some dominance in the post out of him, and we'll see who else gets to get into the ball game as the Saints will have it first, and Jacob Jones will start it.
It's like a little man-to-man action here by Miami Hamilton. Let's see if Thomas More attacks it.
Here's Pack in the post. He is 8 for 8 on the season, inside from 3. Pack gets him on the board first.
Yeah, Miami Hamilton's not going to have the size to match up with guys like Noah Pack, and then later on when Matt Smith comes into the game. So, yeah, this might be a lot of interior post.
Outside. Gives over to King Goss. Works into Bradley. Bradley trying to score, and he will over Reed Jolly.
Yeah, Bradley, a little lefty. Playing on the block, he's undersized, but out of Lima, Ohio, played at Lima Central Catholic. They've had a lot of great teams over the years, including a state championship team when they had Xavier Simpson, who went to Michigan, and also when they, at the same time, had Dantez Walton, along with Trey Cobbs, who both went to Northern Kentucky.
Casey George for Thomas More out of Pickerington, Ohio. See him post up there on the far side of your screen as Reed Jolly's got it. Guarded by Marshall. 2 seconds to shoot. It's going to be Jones. Thomas More did not get the ball off in time. That's a shot clock violation.
That's Jacob Jones, man. He has to be aware. He's the guy running the show, and he's the one that threw the extra pass with half a second left on the timer. He's got to put that one up if it's in his hands. I like the fact he's trying to be unselfish, but that's not the time, not the situation.
See the Harriers rocking their red uniforms with black numbers. Thomas More in the home whites. The blue numbers. This will be Aiden Turner swinging out to King Goss. Now a fadeaway jumper. It is good on the fadeaway from Turner.
Good job there by Turner. Little elbow jumper there through some contact. And now Miami Hamilton trying to speed up the Saints here, using the full court press.
Jacob Jones resets the offense up top. Jones facing a double team at the top of the post. It's Jolly from 3. That one, in and out. Going to be saved by Marshall. Good stop by the Harriers.
Boy, a little unkind rim there. Actually, a bit cruel. A little heartbreak hotel early on. You got to get that out of your system.
Swinging inside to Scantland. And he's going to be fouled by Wyatt Veith, the first foul in this home game, the first one of the year. Wyatt Veith, more of a sharpshooter for Thomas More, but he's got to step up on defense in his sophomore year.
That's, I'm sure he had a good summer improving that because he wouldn't be out there on the floor. But you're right, that was probably his biggest weakness, as it is with most freshmen. Was on the defensive end, and there, a little slippage there. And that's a traveling violation. Look like Aiden Turner had the floor slip out from underneath of him. He played at a great program over at Moeller. Played for the legendary Carl Kramer. Produced stud player after stud player. A couple of them in the NBA now. Like Jackson Hayes, Deuce McBride. Guys like that. Guys you might have heard of. Those are just the recent graduates.
Yeah, really. Here's a wild look, but a basket made by King Goss, who just slung it in there with the right hand.
Oh, Goss saying, I'm the king of this castle. Try to stop me if you can.
Jones pushing it up to Veith. Decides to give back to Jacob Jones. Good passing from Thomas More. It's Casey George from downtown.
Nice job there, going with the one extra pass, finding the open man, and it's George from way downtown.
Ryan Marshall out of Centerville, Ohio. Brings it across the timeline. Looks up for Scantland. Bradley handing off to Goss. 12 seconds to shoot for the Harriers. Pulling up from mid, that basket good from Jamison Bradley.
Bradley playing with a swagger right now, and now he's the head of the press here. Like a 1-2-1-1 trapping press here by Miami Hamilton. Thomas More takes him almost 8 seconds to get it across the timeline.
Good pass from George, but kicking it back out is Pack, and Veith can't knock it down. But the offensive rebound from Jolly doesn't go on the second try. George puts it away.
Miami Hamilton is already outmanned as far as their size. They have to block out down low. They cannot allow Thomas More to have 3 offensive rebounds.
Outside, it's Bradley. King Goss and Aiden Turner. Turner kicks back out to Goss. The quick trigger triple, just a little bit long. It's pulled in by Reed Jolly. Veith opts to take it inside. Now back out to Reed Jolly.
Not great spacing over there. 3 guys on that one side of the floor. It's got to be respaced and evened out.
Veith from 3. That's good. His first 3 at home on the season is money.
See, when they stretch the floor like that, get everybody in a space, find somebody open there, and Veith is able to knock it down.
Veith only 1 for 5 on the road against Indiana Wesleyan. Good to see him put that one in and maybe get his mojo going, as that shot's airballed. A little bit short from Aiden Turner. Not a foul going to be called. A travel going to be called. That's a turnover for the Harriers. They've got 4 new dudes coming on in.
Yeah, Michael Pyatt in his 3rd season as the head coach of Miami Hamilton, former head coach up at the OSU Lima campus, also was an assistant coach at Washington Lee and a longtime assistant at Ohio Wesleyan. But where I think a lot of people know him the most is up in Northwest Ohio, where he's a longtime high school coach, places like Lehman Catholic, Miami Valley, and New Knoxville.
Ball kicked around. That's going to be a turnover on Thomas More. Good takeaway by Cody Lance.
Yeah, Lance, one of those newcomers that came in the game. Only Ryan Marshall stayed out there after that line change.
That's Michael Keehan, West Sider.
Yeah, another local guy. I saw somebody with their vintage Elder gear. I had to be one of his people.
That 3 missed from Marshall, pulled in for Thomas More. George from the free throw line. Oh, that one, again, a heartbreaker.
Well, he looked a little hesitant there. He looked like he initially wanted to pass, went ahead and took the shot. Didn't look like he was in rhythm from the free throw line, and like you said, rattles out.
Outside, it's Keehan. Back out now for 3. Missing, it's Caleb Taylor. Saints with a narrow 2-point advantage. Jolly spins in the lane. That one a little bit shy.
He was looking for contact there, didn't get it as they do the play on here. You got to realize in NAI, it seems like there's a lot of play-ons, man. This is a man's league right now.
Keehan over to Marshall. Marshall pulls up. That one's good. Nice hit from Marshall. Puts the Harriers back up front.
And you know he's got to feel vindicated to come inside this gym where he spent hours of countless time not to be able to play very much and to come back here and be able to bang one down and let everybody know, yeah, man, I'm a player too.
Noah Pack has it knocked away. Good defense on the perimeter by Ringfield. Jolly spins away from his opponent. That's a grown man move.
Reed Jolly, little spin cycle move there. Got to like it out of the short corner.
Marshall taking on Jacob Jones. Not much space for Caleb Taylor. Eventually Marshall's going to catch it in some traffic, lays it high off the window, and Noah Pack secures it.
Boy, couldn't kiss it off the banking board there.
Veith back to Pack in rhythm. Bang! Nice shot from Noah Pack.
Noah Pack stepping out at 6'8". That draws away one of their few big men. And how about that? He's getting it talking to there by Ringfield. Said, how you do that, man?
Here is Ringfield. And back over to Lance. Under 10 seconds to shoot. It's Marshall. Marshall pulling up quickly, off the mark.
Boy, that was a bad miss there. Got to be able to give it up, find somebody that's open.
Nice pass.
Look out.
Jolly looking for his man in George, and it's knocked away by
George
Cody
is
Lance.
too long to get to his shot, and then he's begging for a call.
Now George back on the defensive side. Cody Lance. Giving the free in. Marshall working hard in the paint, fading away and getting the friendly
Marshall
roll.
took all kinds of contact, got his jersey. He's talking some smack to Noah Pack, who might have been the guy he's accusing of trying to rip his jersey off. A lot of Wolf tickets being sold here in the early going, and gotta like it.
That's going to be a foul called on Marshall. No shot from downtown. And this should take us to our first media timeout. So, folks, Brady and I will be back after this short break. Back to the action on the Saints Sports Network. First half, it is Thomas More 15, MHU Harriers 13. Brady, tightly contested start to this one.
Certainly is. I mean, it had a bit of an open gym feel the way the two teams were going up and down the floor. And, Miami Hamilton is kind of showing right now that they're going to be able to hang with these guys here, at least through the first, 6 minutes or so.
A couple new players for Thomas More coming in. You've got Matt Smith and Derek Eddings hitting the hardwood for the first time tonight.
Derek Eddings sat out last year as an injury casualty. Didn't play a whole lot the year before that either. And that was after sitting out 2 years after not playing basketball right out of high school. Went to LaSalle and was the GCL co-player of the year along with Jeremiah Davenport from Moeller, who's now at UC.
Be a little push in the back. That foul called against Aiden Turner. He's back into the game after a quick breather. Jacob Jones to inbound. He finds his man in Matt Smith.
First look at him, a transfer out of Murray State. Talk about a guy often injured. Played a total of 4 games in 3 seasons down there at Murray. And he's looking to kind of be reborn here now that he's finally got his health back.
Fouls on Caleb Taylor. His first foul puts Reed Jolly on the line. Our first free throws from Jolly in this game. And he knocks it down. Jolly.
I know our stat monitor's not working, but I believe these are the first free throws of the game, right?
They are.
For either team. That's kind of a pace I like.
See if that keeps up. Jolly misses the second half, so he is indeed human from the free throw line as Eddings will have it and then lose it. A reach-in quickly called.
Reach in there, Caleb Taylor, junior college transfer out of Mount Healthy High School. He's the guilty party.
He will take a quick breather. Cody Lance checking back in.
That's 2 on him. He's got 2 of their 4 fouls. That's the kind of efficiency a coach doesn't like.
It's Eddings from 3. A moon ball that goes in.
Derek Eddings feeling the rhythm, was able to get some playing time up at Indiana Wesleyan. Looks to be firmly in the rotation here in the early going. Yeah, that's going to be on V. No, they called it on Smith instead. Boy, V, I was a hands to the face if that was a football play out there on the perimeter. They were concentrating down low instead. Either way, it's a Thomas More infraction.
Beath will check out. Scotty Dowd checking in. Brady, you were talking to me a little bit about the history of that name.
So his dad, Scott Dowd, one of the greatest pure shooters and scorers in the history of Northern Kentucky basketball. That's a guy that scored over 2,500 points without the benefit of a three-point line, and he never shot inside 20 feet. It's an amazing player. 2 years ahead of me, man, went to Vanderbilt University. Just a phenomenal shooter and scorer. And, the apple didn't fall far from the tree. His son, Scotty, was able to benefit from that three-point line because now he is the 9th region's all-time leading scorer.
Dowd got a little bit of run in that game against Indiana Wesleyan, probably expecting to see a little bit more like that.
Scotty Stroud, out of Beechwood High School, went to Kentucky Wesleyan and redshirted. Did not play at all last year and decided to come closer to home and an opportunity to get to play. And he's going to try to take advantage of it here.
Last foul was against Bradley as Eddings will try to swing it around. He'll give back to George with 10 seconds to shoot. Smith back to George. Saints got to figure something out. They're going to get bailed out by a foul called on the Harriers.
It's going to be on King Goss. Keep wanting to call him King Rice. Of course, King Rice was a great player for North Carolina. Head coach at Monmouth now, of course. He was a great combination at North Carolina. He and J.R. Reed. You talk about a couple of studs. King Rice at the point, J.R. Reed down the post. And I'll try not to call him by that man's name. No disrespect to either one of them. Uh-oh.
Here's Stroud underneath. He goes up and in with his first basket in the Conner Convocation Center.
I understand what he was trying to do there. He was trying to fake to get, an and one. But to me, just go strong and go get your 2 points. That's just me nitpicking a little bit.
Saints now up by 6. Yeah, working from Lance as he fades away. He can't hit. Stroud secures the rebound. It's Casey George. George around the left side, back to Eddings. Ryan Marshall's checked into the game for the Harriers. Jolly back to Eddings.
Boy, Smith's working hard down there, posting up, trying to show his numbers and get that feed. Now he's going to have a high ball screen that Jolly passes on.
I'm going to say it was hit out by the Harriers. Only 4 seconds to shoot for Thomas More.
Veith will come back in place of Jolly. We're in the early going of this season, game 2. You got a feeling that Coach Ray already knows what his rotation is? He's not experimenting, is he?
No, not really. Here's Veith from 3. That one off the mark. It's going to be tipped around and grabbed by Smith, who is going to be fouled and will head to the free throw line.
That's a big guy, man. It's been a long time since Thomas More has had a guy with that kind of size and strength down low. It reminds me physically, he's bigger, but he reminds me of Junior Stockwell. Just a low post banger that just goes to war down there. Not afraid, not going to try to step out and shoot threes and get away from contact. Young man out of the state of North Carolina. Went to Independence High School in Charlotte.
Free throw is up and no good. So 0 for 2 on that trip to the line.
And if you're a low post player, you've got to be able to shoot free throws because you're going to go to the line a lot.
Something that
you're
Thomas
consistently
More,
playing through contact.
We saw Ryan Batey for
right.
TMU
That's
have
exactly
to do that
right.
a lot in the years past. Foul going to be called, I think, on Stroud. We'll see what the official call is. No, it's going to be against Smith for the hold.
I think that's 2 on him. I think he's even saying that. Right now they're going to leave him out there. They're going to bring Jones in and probably go small. Nope, he's going to go get Tate. They're going to tell my man to play through it.
All right, so Casey George out, Jones in. An inbound pass coming from Aiden Turner, who just heaves it all the way back to Marshall. They'll reset.
I don't know why more people don't take advantage of that.
Bradley over to Marshall. 10 seconds to shoot. The step back 3. Oh, off the mark. It's going to be rebounded, though, by Lance. And they get a fresh 20 seconds.
Long rebound there. Miami Hamilton trying to take advantage of it, and they do.
Didn't take very long after the offensive rebound for them to cash in. Nice shot from the corner. 3-point ball game. Thomas More and Miami Hamilton keeping certainly a hot pace going early on. Not necessarily with the scoring, but I feel like the energy has been pretty lively in this early part. And that's going to be another foul called.
That's on Bradley, number 1.
20 feet away from the basket.
It sure is. He was frustrated. I mean, he's trying to go for a steal there is what he's doing. But, you got to be smarter than that. That's his second foul with, 7.5 minutes left to go.
Puts Eddings on the line. going to make his first free throw of the season. And he does not. A little bit short. Noah Pack knocks it out of bounds. It'll be Harrier ball.
Noah Pack just swatted that away from the much smaller Ryan Marshall. It goes out of bounds to Miami Hamilton off of Thomas More. I tell you what, I like Marshall's game. He's a scrapper. This guy definitely playing with a chip on his shoulder here today.
Doing what he can to keep his team.
And doing it against his former team.
Yeah, really, yeah. Trying to keep the Harriers neck and neck with Thomas More. If you go into halftime with this game still within reach, that's going to be a pretty good feeling. As that is going to be a wonderful, again, fadeaway shot creating extra space for Aiden Turner.
That's a one-point game here. Thomas More's got to figure out a way.
Jones back to Eddings for three. That three well off the mark. Pulled in by Goss.
Yeah, that's a little bit out of the price range. Just because you're open, that doesn't mean you have to shoot it. It's not mandatory. There might be a reason why you're so wide open.
There'll be a bounce into the lane. It's going to be saved by Drought, and Thomas More is going to get it back.
Great hustle there by Drought. Going into the cheerleaders to save that ball. Now let's see if Thomas More can turn it into a bucket. Couldn't do it in transition. Now they're just going to have to reset in the half court.
Beef guarded tightly outside. Gives back to Drought. Oh, and the ball stolen away. It's going to stay with Thomas More as Marshall punched it out of bounds.
Yeah, right into the lap of his coach, Michael Byatt. And he's got to be very happy with how his team's playing here so far. Staying in this ball game within a point. You know, it's a one-possession game.
Taking on the number 2 team in the NAIA. Of course, preseason rankings don't mean the world as Jolly's going to go up, knock it in. Late call, but it's going to be an and one.
I think they were trying to figure out there if he was outside the restricted circle, and that was the only reason that they held off on that, making that call.
Marshall standing right in front of Jolly. Brave move. Not sure I would be brave enough to stand in front of him as he's charging toward the basket, but
Jolly kind of said, hey, man, good job there hanging in there. And that's 2 fouls on Marshall. They've got 19 fouls against them. Number of guys with 2 of them there for Miami Hamilton. They're going to leave Marshall out on the floor right now. Trust that he won't commit that third.
It's Goss. Over to Turner. Now Marshall. Goss from 3. That one's off. Rebounded by Noah Pack. Good job to get between his man and the basket.
Classic blockout move there by Pack, and now it's Beath out of the corner. Got it.
Nice shot from Wyatt Beath as he's starting to heat up from downtown.
That's 6 straight points there for Thomas More after Miami Hamilton had cut it to 1, and now they're going to call timeout here ahead of the media break. Michael Pyatt can't wait for it.
So we will step away.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
And we're back to it on the Saints Sports Network. Nate Metz with you on this one with my man Brady Labor. Thomas More now leading by 7. Their lead got trimmed down to just about 1. And then Thomas More able to eventually figure it all out. Put 6 straight points on the board. And we're right back to it. Aiden Turner outside. Marshall fading away from the basket. That one is good. Here comes Jones now. Jones Gives over to Jolly, who just heaves up a miracle shot. Does not fall. Rebound secured by Scantlin. And we'll see what Turner can do. The fadeaway shot is good. Nice shot from Aiden Turner, who's certainly heating up from inside. 3-point ball game. Brady Labor heading down to the sidelines. Gonna have a chance to catch Coach Justin Ray for a quick conversation before they go into the locker room as Noah Pack will skip back out. That ball knocked away. It goes off of the backboard. Jones picks it up, feeds down to Jolly. Oh, what a transition. What a pass. What a finish. Thomas More extends their lead. Turner again, this time going up against Pack. It's no good, but they get the board. Nice job on the offensive side. Immediately stepping into the three was Lance, and he was off the mark. Jacob Jones pushing the pace. It's going to be Jolly back to Veith. Now Noah Pack. Pack to Veith for three. Just short. Nice rebound from King Goss. Here's a three on the way. It is good. Are they going to call it and one? We'll see what the deliberation is. And they will count the basket. The foul is on Jacob Jones on the hole. We've got a chance for a 4-point play. Oh, are they going to wave it off? No, they're going to say it was afterwards. So the ball, maybe even better for the Harriers, will go back in their possession. So in this 2-point contest, Miami Hamilton maybe with a shot to knock this in. A bounced low, that ball up and in. What a move, what a shot, and a great finish by King Goss. It'll be Jacob Jones. Jones, the bounce to Pack, who goes up strong, but too strong as he misses on the far side. Now a chance for the Harriers to take a lead. They haven't had one since early in this half. And it'll be another strong move to the hoop, but Thomas More able to get it with another chance. 29 all as Jacob Jones threads his way through traffic, gives back out to George. Noah Pack with 15 seconds to shoot. Gonna have to work against a pretty tough opponent, Michael Kean, who's been playing a lot bigger than what he's had to normally probably in their first two games. The Saints come up empty yet again. 2 minutes to go in this first half. Brady, this game's a lot closer than it was for a second.
If you paid attention to the pregame interview with Coach Ray, he's not surprised by any of this.
Here's a shot. Oh, that is good from Aiden Turner. And don't look now, but the Harriers have taken a lead. It'll be Noah Pack. 90 seconds to play in this half. Back to Jones. Working on Marshall. 9 seconds to shoot. It's going to be Jolly in the lane, and he can't score. And now a chance to go up by 2 shots if indeed the Harriers can convert. Harriers, Brady, playing like their hair's on fire.
Well, they definitely laid it all here on the line, and they're here to make a name for themselves. They're playing a tough schedule. They'll play Northern Kentucky later on this season. This is definitely a group that's not scared of this environment.
Foul going to be called. Looks like it's against Thomas More. That's against Reed Jolly on the hold, and Coach Ray gonna go to the bench. He's looking for Aiden Schneider to check in for Noah Pack. First time we're getting a chance to see him this season, Brady.
Yeah, interesting move here by Justin Ray. He's just trying to look like push some buttons. Of course, he can't go to Matt Smith because he also has 2 fouls.
Ball right into the middle, and a quick bucket scored by Cody Lance. 4-point ball game in favor of the Harriers.
Big, Nate, this is their largest lead of the night.
Indeed is. It'll be Jones on the left side. George facing a double team on the perimeter. 10 seconds to shoot. Jones with no space to breathe gives to Jones, and it's knocked away. Will it stay with Thomas More? Yes, but only 4 seconds to shoot.
It's going to make for an interesting halftime interview, right?
I think
Nate?
it will. I definitely think it will.
That's all right.
Here's Schneider. Skips over and
Got to have awareness there, Nate.
And not knowing how much time was left on the clock, they end up holding on to it. That's the second time, Brady, we've seen a shot clock violation. And Thomas More going to have to work back into, I mean, they're in contention, but definitely not where they want to be, as the Harriers will settle for the final shot. 8 seconds to go. Goss feeling it. They're going to call him for a travel. 2.1 seconds left. And Thomas More just going to heave one up. Good opportunity for them to get one extra shot, but no matter what, assuming no 4-point play, they're going to head into the locker room trailing.
You know, I was told by my high school coach, a legendary Bob Jones, he said the most insignificant statistic in all of sports is the halftime score. Let's hope that's true here today.
Let's hope that's the case. At half, it is 33-29 Harriers, as Brady Labor is down on the floor with Coach Justin Ray. Brady.
Coach, you warned us in the pregame talk that these guys were going to come in here, looking to battle with you, and they certainly have done that.
Yeah, we weren't ready to go. That's on me. These guys are college basketball players. You don't do what you're supposed to, you're going to get your rear ends handed to you.
So what's the message there in the locker room here as far as coming back out for the second half?
Well, I think the biggest concern is defensively, you're not getting stops. Letting them do exactly what we told them they were going to do. Letting guys who are good at getting the rim get to the rim, letting shooters shoot. Offensively, not playing very hard, not playing very smart. They're just packing it in. Not making an effort to get it down low like we need to, playing inside out. So just a poor effort.
Coach, best of luck in the second half.
Thanks, Brady.
Nate, back to you, man.
Thank you, Brady, and thank you to everyone for tuning in to the Saints Sports Network for this broadcast presentation of NAIA basketball. We're going to have a quick timeout coming up, but not quite yet. We're going to have a cheer, and I believe the cheerleaders coming onto the floor to perform their routine, and we figure, hey, let's give everyone else a chance to watch that as well, whether they're here in the gym or at home. Brady and I will be back here in about 13 and a half minutes on the Saints Sports Network. That was the Thomas More Dance Team. We appreciate them for all their hard work. Now we'll cut to a commercial break here on the Saints Sports Network.
Around the world, around the clock, in defense of all we hold dear back home, America's Navy.
It's always been a part of me to fight for those who couldn't fight for themselves. Whether on my block or around the world. My name is First Lieutenant King, and I move toward the sounds of those who are in need of help.
The few, the proud, the Marines.
Back to it on the Saints Sports Network with Nate Metz and Brady Labor for half number 2. Brady, in game 1 for Thomas More, they played complementary basketball, played good defense, played good offense. They passed the ball around well. Seemingly, though, in this first half, none of that was going well for TMU.
Well, it doesn't help when you're giving up a shooting percentage of 53.5%. That's tough to win any game unless you shoot more than that. And Thomas More is shooting 44% themselves, but that's just not going to get it done. As Coach said, you got to get stops, and that's something they really didn't do a whole lot of there in that first half. So it's going to have to be done on the defensive end of the floor. Thomas More is going to get out of here with a win.
Thomas More has led for over 60% of this game, but ultimately the Harriers able to get on a good stretch down toward the end of half 1, and they've got the momentum on their side. They're the ones playing on the road. They're the ones playing in the tougher
They've
environment.
got nothing to lose, Nate.
Yeah, they're out
the
here
USCAA team. They have nothing to lose. And that's why it's dangerous to schedule these kind of games as you know, basically in the Power 5, you know, a bye game is what it's called. And that's not necessarily the case here as far as their parameters, but that's basically what it is. It's a bye game, right?
Supposed to be.
It's supposed to be a bye game, but a couple years ago we saw this happen with UNOH. So you just got to figure it out at halftime. And like I said, that halftime score is the most insignificant statistic that is on that sheet that you just read for me.
That start will certainly help Thomas More with a turnover on the Harriers, and we'll see what the Saints can do on their first offensive possession of this half.
Think Coach Ray got after it there in the locker room?
I have a feeling, yes. More so than he did in that interview, potentially.
He's
not sure.
He's not amused by doing that to me, that such as Coach Hands is. And I understand a big part of this is entertaining yourself. That's what I've pretty much done my whole career.
10 seconds to shoot for Jacob Jones as he's going to be fouled on the floor, so the basket will not count. But more fouls starting to build up already for the Harriers.
So he splits the double team, did Jones, and a reach-in foul there. That was against, that was on Marshall. That's his third. I had the 3 and the 0 mixed up there on the board. Yeah, that's important because Marshall's the guy. He's so far been there. Right? He's been their leader.
Under 10 to shoot with Noah Pack and now Jacob Jones. Jones in the lane, gets the friendly roll.
And see, Jones did a good job there. He recognizes that Marshall's in foul trouble and still out there, so what's he do? He attacks him, goes after him, trying to get that 4th foul on him.
It will be the aforementioned Marshall. Giving over to Bradley. Bradley against Jolly. Nice move from Bradley, staying strong in the lane.
Yeah, Jamison Bradley, an experienced player, a senior, transferred in from Owens Community College, which is in that same Ohio area where he comes from in Lima.
It'll be Jolly spinning away from Bradley, and he hits one toward the baseline.
Jolly playing through contact, and now Bradley bumping him up and down the floor. Let's watch that matchup there. This should be interesting between Jolly and Bradley.
Turner out on the wing. He'll give to Marshall. Goss gives to the little guy. It's Marshall who pulls up quickly and misses. Jolly wrangles it in.
And Marshall was barking for a foul there as well. Didn't get it. Now it's knocked out of bounds there by Aiden Turner, and it'll stay there with Thomas More.
Goss will check out. Lance will check in for Miami Hamilton.
Lance, a transfer from Rio Grande. A lot of transfers in this program for head coach Michael Pyatt and his assistant coach Chris Jones, who was the former head coach at the Wright State Lake campus up there in Salina.
Here's Jolly. Jolly back out to Veith, who catches it in stride, but is a little too strong. Rebound will go to Jones, who throws it off of the feet of Scantland. Saints keep the ball.
A lot of times when guys are trying to save it in, they don't have the presence of mind of trying to throw it off the guy at a position that they can't avoid, and that is at their lower legs. You throw it towards their knees because they're instinctively going to jump, and you end up getting them in the ankles. A lot of times they'll throw it at the feet, and it's easier to get it out of the way. Jones with a heads-up play there.
There's no real stopping the carom off of the leg. Saints will now have a chance to retake the lead. They've trailed by as much as 4 in this game. And now they retake it. Reed Jolly picking it up on the second try and putting it in.
Cleaning up the loose change there. Nobody blocked him out. And that's been the one thing that has been a bugaboo here for Miami Hamilton, is they have not blocked out very well and are getting out rebounded as a result, 16-14. And now Thomas More is retaking the lead.
Quick pass to the baseline. It's going to be on the low post. Lance, who fades away, and he scores. The Harriers back in front.
Going back and forth affair. This is going to be a dogfight here. Going to come down to the defensive end. Got to get stops.
Jolly feeds into Noah Pack. Facing a double team down in the corner, and a foul will be called. See if that's against Turner or if that's against Scantland. 1-2 or 2-1.
That's that wall-up foul there.
It's going to be Aiden Turner who gets whistled for it, his second foul of the contest.
A lot of guys here with 2 fouls for Miami Hamilton. Marshall, of course, leads the way with 3. He is still out there. Here comes the double team. Somebody's open.
Jones working hard against Turner. Jones will be blocked by Scantland. Nice defensive stop by Miami Hamilton.
Jones might have went too deep there without having an outlet trigger to get it out to.
Turner guarded by George. 10 to shoot for the Harriers. A 3. That one just barely misses, but Turner had all day to pull that one up.
Another rebound there by Reed Jolly. That makes 6 by my count. And there he is on the other end. No good. Dunk. He tried to dunk that one back in. Now there's bodies all over the floor, and somehow Miami Hamilton ends up with the ball.
Miami Hamilton, after a couple, I think it might be a need for a little bit of the perspiration mop. Good thing is we got some good student workers able to help out.
Tell you what, the pace of this game's played, you got to go in and wipe that stuff up quickly. They might be coming back down at you. Instead, there's a foul on the other end.
It's me against Josh Scantlin, as he's going to have to take a seat on the bench. His first foul of the game.
Tri-Village High School. They're still in the Ohio High School playoffs as we enter the third weekend of the postseason coming up this Friday and Saturday.
And weekend pack. I know you'll be busy, Brady.
I'll be at Princeton High School for McNick versus Taft, with the winner going to the regional championship. That winner faces the winner of Wyoming versus Clinton Massey. That's a Division IV Region 16 if you're counting at home.
No, a tough shot missed by Jolly. Saints get an offensive rebound and a three banged in by Wyatt Veith. That's his third triple of the game.
Didn't look clean, but it rattles in. Still counts for three. Again, another lead change here. As Thomas More takes it back out by 2.
It'll be Lance. Over to Marshall.
Lance acted like he was going to shoot there, thought better of it. Instead, it's going to be Turner at a Moeller High School.
Yeah, the mid-range game has been working quite well for Miami Hamilton in this one, giving them a little bit more space against the taller Thomas More defenders.
Yeah, I mean, if they're not going down from the three-point line, you can find that in-between soft spot. And now a foul's going to be called on Bradley. Bradley not happy. I believe that's going to end up being his third.
Got a substitution checking in for Miami Hamilton. Lance is out. Caleb Taylor is in.
And they got Marshall and Bradley. Two starting guards, even though Bradley is guarding Noah Pack and other times Reed Jolly. He's more of a guard. Both out there with 3 fouls. A little weave action there at the top of the key for Thomas More.
10 to shoot for Jolly.
They double team Jolly as soon as he gets the ball inside the arc.
5 to shoot. Oh, Jacob Jones, another lovely shot from deep.
He does not shoot it often from long range, but when he does, it's usually pure. And the little guy filling it up right now for the Saints.
Thomas More up by 3. They've led by as much as 7 in this ball game. There has not been a game in Thomas More's men's basketball history against Miami Hamilton where they haven't scored 93 or more. As that shot is up. And
I don't think those guys had dudes like this that Miami Hamilton has. And how about that? Michael Kean with a little West Side toughness there. Joe Schoenfeld would be proud. I'm sure he's probably in the building here because his daughter played volleyball here at Thomas More.
Yep, Lizzie Schoenfeld.
Is that past tense or is that present tense?
Yep,
she out of here?
A year ago.
A year ago. So. That's right. Joe Schoenfeld, a legend over there at Elder.
Veith from 3. Oh, no, just a little bit short.
Turner's going to bring it up himself here. Marshall says, let's slow this down. Let's get a quality set out of it. Still a one-possession game. If one team or another can get this out, stretch it out to 2 or 3 possessions, man, that might be all it takes. Still a bunch of time, though.
Bradley attacking ferociously to the basket.
And he sells the wolf ticket. He gets teed up for it.
So
Bradley's been talking to Jolly the whole time, and he let him know about it. And then he gets teed up there for the taunting call. And that could be something that swings the momentum.
That'll be foul number 4 on Jamison Bradley. Puts Wyatt Veith on the free throw line.
Yeah, that's the other thing. That counts as a personal foul. You've already got 3, and that's a senior, man. He's got to have better awareness than that. And that's exactly what his head coach, Michael Pyatt's telling him. Listen, dude, that's on you.
Veith knocks in the free throw. We'll have another one coming up.
So 12:39, if we can remember that, is what's on the clock. Listen, Coach Pyatt's like, I'm not done with you yet.
You cannot have that in a tight game when you have a chance to knock off the Thomas More Saints.
I mean, I get it, as far as, the enthusiasm, the excitement, but, man, you just got to have better awareness of that. You're a senior for a reason, man. You're supposed to be a leader, and you got to lead by example, and that was not the case right there.
Scotty Drow going to check back in. Never mind, not yet. Coach Ray is going to have a quick word with him. And now he will head to the scorer's table. We'll see him next dead ball. Jacob Jones to feed into Reed Jolly. And Jolly going to lose it, but Veith picks it up. Oh, and he hits the three.
Wow, Jolly not real strong with the handle there, and somehow Veith in the right place at the right time, and he buries it in the bottom of the sack.
Oh, it's King Goss, and a timeout going to be called from the Harrier sideline.
Michael Pyatt couldn't wait for that media break in under 12 minutes. He's seeing it starting to get away from his group after that technical foul was called.
We'll step away and be back here shortly on the...
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it.
I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Saints now up by 4 with 12-12 to go. Brady Thomas More able to get back in front with some hot shooting from downtown. Wyatt Veith heating up a little bit. He's got 4 3-pointers, 13 points on the night.
Yeah, it leads the way for all scorers, actually. 12 points for Reed Jolly to go with his 6 rebounds and 3 assists. He got 3 guys for Miami Hamilton, each with 10 points. That'd be Ryan Marshall with 3 fouls, though. Jamison Bradley, who just picked up his 4th, and Aiden Turner. These guys haven't gone very deep into their bench, more than, not as much as I expected they would. But actually, you say the same about Thomas More. I mean, I kind of tried to lean into that question. We can probably see guys that normally don't get minutes. Coach Ray snuffed that out real quick, if you notice. He's like, man, we got to respect our opponent. We just can't be anticipating guys getting playing time before they've even gotten off their bus. So that was a mistake on my part.
3, well, yeah, I guess every year is a new year, right?
It certainly
Brady?
is.
As Turner will give over to Keehan, and a nice move, but a rejection by Noah Pack.
Send that weak stuff out of here, Nate.
5 seconds to shoot for Miami Hamilton.
Got to be stronger to the hole there. Cody Lance was not. A sophomore out of Shelby, Ohio. Up there in that area between Marion and Gallion. If you're keeping score at home. Mid-central region there of state of Ohio.
Nice pass in. Foul going to be called.
Talk about threading the needle there. King Goss creates a contact. Great inbounds pass, great catch, and then finding yourself to the free throw line. Good job there, young man. Goss out of Twinsburg, Ohio. It's kind of in the northeastern portion of the state. Kind of up there around Lorain and Cleveland. Another transfer out of Owens Community College. It looks like Marshall's going to come back in with those 3 fouls now. And I think Michael Pyatt realized I got to have at least one or the other between Marshall or Bradley out on the floor. And quite frankly, I don't think Bradley's going to be out there for quite some time.
Don't think so.
And it's not just because of the 4 fouls.
Turner ends up knocking that in. That's his 11th point of the night. That's good for the best on Miami Hamilton so far. Saints still by 3. Foul going to be called on Keehan for the 2-handed check, I would imagine, into the back of Noah Pack.
Keehan only averages 2.5 points per game, 15 minutes per contest in the early going. Small sample size so far.
It's Jolly. Jolly.
They always try to find a way to double team when Jolly gets the ball inside the arc.
Definitely trying to make life tough
that was
on him.
dirty.
And the 3 misses from Veith. They're going to say a foul called against.
It's going to be a loose ball foul.
Yeah, that's tough.
Over the back. That's going to be against Michael Keehan. But how about that move off the bounce? Jacob Jones not only that quickness, but he's got that handle on a string at all times.
Always
and now
able
we're in
to
the
dish it
bonus
away.
already. That's 7 fouls now against Miami Hamilton. Just 1 called against Thomas More here in a half. So that sends Pack up to the line for the 1+1.
We still have 11:26 to go in
It's
regulation.
a long time, man. That could be an ally, but you got to make front ends of 1-and-1s, even if you're leading. So those will add up.
Wide open from 3. It's King Goss who can't get it to go.
I think Droud lost his guy there. Goss just couldn't take advantage of it.
Jones, nice move. Jacob Jones, a feathery touch.
Looking like a cone drill there. Tell you what, there's nobody quicker, has a better handle than I've seen at Thomas More in quite a long time than Jacob Jones out of Jeffersonville, Indiana. Division I transfer out of the University of Green Bay.
Goss over to Marshall. 8 seconds to shoot for the Harriers. Oh, he's going to pull up from way downtown.
Oh,
and it
my word. A little Heartbreak Hotel.
Touched every part of the iron, but fell on the wrong side.
Now look at Marshall. He's trying to guard Noah Pack here. That's a mismatch. There you go. He gets key in on him.
Wyatt Veith back to Jolly. 8 to shoot for Thomas More. It's Jones wide open from the wing, but it's going to jump up off the iron, hit the shot clock. That is going to be Harrier ball.
They're going to bring Jamison Bradley back in at that 10:08 mark with those 4 fouls. Got to keep your eye on that. He only sat about 2.5 minutes. Coach Pyatt just couldn't wait to get him back in there. With his team trailing by 5, he doesn't want to let this one get out of hand too quickly.
Nice quick math, Brady. 12:39. That's 2:31 as far as his break was concerned.
I said 2.5.
That's close. That's a good internal clock. I'm giving you
it was
flowers.
a guess, is what it was. Don't try to make me do math anymore.
All right.
Or expect me to be accurate.
Okay, that's fair. Well, hey, it worked out this time. Maybe not every time this season, but
I remember being that rude person at home trying to needle broadcasters when they would make minute mistakes about that. Now I hate those people.
Yeah. Here comes Jones to Pack through the lane.
Yep.
Offensive foul.
Yep. That was an easy one to call there. And a gutsy play there by Bradley to stand in there and take it with those 4 fouls. But that was an easy one to pick up there. Pack's got to know better than that. I think he just saw his eyes got big there. Try to take advantage of the situation.
Saints up by 5, but Miami Hamilton been with them every step of the way. It's Bradley. Oh, a nice move, a tough move by King Goss. He's going to find himself on the free throw line.
See who the guilty party here is. It looks like it's going to be Jones or Thomas More. Say this about Miami Hamilton. They didn't come in here looking to get a handout from anybody, did they not?
They definitely did not, as we've got a timeout called from the Thomas More bench. Brady, pretty tough game for both of these teams, trying to duke it out. Both teams trying to stay unbeaten on the season.
Well, it's an early season, obviously.
Very much so.
This is the first opponent that Miami Hamilton's had against a 4-year school. And with Thomas More, man, they had a really tough road win Saturday at Indiana Wesleyan. And, you know, a lot of folks was thinking that this was going to be more of a tune-up, more of a breather, so to speak. That's not the case here tonight, is it, Nate?
Harriers had different ideas. Let's take a look at Thomas More's upcoming schedule. They're going to be taking on Kent State Tuscarawas, a team that has in the past been in a similar situation like the Harriers are in. A satellite school that ended up giving Thomas More a really hard run.
Another school in the USCAA as well.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in the situation Thomas Moore's in and you're trying to get tune-up games and buy games, you know, that's where you got to pull. That's the pool you're fishing out of, you know. But with that said, you can't underestimate any opponent. Cleveland State, a Horizon League team, and they had a lot of turnover. Their head coach took a great job at Mizzou, so they had to change everything there. They lost to a Division II school last night in Notre Dame College. It can happen to anybody. You've got to respect your opponent. even if you think it's a situation where it's a bought victory.
And Thomas More with that number 2 next to them in the preseason polls, all that does is put a bigger and bigger target on your back.
It's like I told him, man, I said, nobody's going to sneak up on you anymore, are they? He said, we were starting to find that out last season. But now it's even more prevalent because it's something that people simmer on an entire offseason. Instead of, just it slowly, gradually happens over the course of weeks and maybe even months. Says now, man, everybody's got you circled from day one.
They know what they're going to get as Goss converts both of his free throws.
And let's, keep it real, Nate. This would make Miami Hamilton's season if they can come out of here with a win.
100%. And that would really give them a lot of momentum going into the rest of their USCAA year.
Well, and they still have a game against Division I Northern Kentucky still coming up in a couple weeks.
So they feel like they can beat Thomas More. I mean, take another step up in class. Let's go after Northern Kentucky.
Let's don't go overboard, but you're right. I mean, that's a game that counts as an exhibition for them, so it'll never go in the record books as a win. But everybody that's a hooper knows, we went in there and got that win, right?
Here's a pull-up jumper. That is good. Nice shot from Aiden Turner.
About Turner there, knocking one down here. And again, Miami Hamilton staying in this game here. They got to get stops on the other end, though. That's something that's been difficult here because they, have the size disadvantage. Thomas More has just got to take advantage of that and get good offensive trips. Or you can just get a big play where you got a dude who just says, get out of my way. I'm going to get to the bucket and you can't stop me. And
Engine number 3 charging down the tracks. Reed Jolly with another great basket. Jolly now leading Thomas More with 14 points.
This was the first full off season that Reed Jolly's been completely healthy. Coach Ray said he had a great summer leading into this year, and he looks for great things out of this young man out of Alexandria, Kentucky.
Derek Eddings will check in for Thomas More. For Droude, exiting for the Harriers will be King Goss. Entering, Cody Lance.
Jones directed traffic here.
Thomas More.
The weave action there out of that Princeton offense. Kenny Shields is smiling somewhere for sure.
Beat from the wing. No good. Off the back of the rim. Pulled in from Marshall.
The little guy Marshall, the second smallest guy on the floor. Tracking that down, and now he's going to walk it up here. Miami Hamilton in no hurry right now. They want to keep this at their pace. They want to run their stuff, not let Thomas More dictate the flow.
It's Bradley. Bradley against Veith. Back to Marshall for 3. Wow! What a shot from Marshall.
He had Jones up in his grill. And that didn't seem to matter as Marshall with a follow through and the pose afterwards. Playing a little string music here in the Connor Convocation Center.
100 combined points between these two teams. I don't think anyone thought it was going to be 51-49 when you hit that mark.
They thought it was going to be 100 on one side.
Here's Jolly doing everything he can to get that shot off. He gets fouled. He's headed to the line.
Cody Lance, take your pick on which time he fouled him. He was all up into the jersey there of Reed Jolly. Jolly just has figured out a way, the older he gets, to play through that contact and be able to get to the free throw line.
Saints from the free throw line shooting an abysmal 33%. That'll help.
Yeah, that's called leaving too much food on the table there. Anytime you do that, you leave the opportunity for another team to eat your lunch. You tell them getting a little bit hungry here as we get to the late portion of the show.
Yeah, me too, man.
That's all right.
I had a Kit Kat before the game, but that's not quite the appetizer I was looking for.
Wow, that's a lane violation. That's even worse than missing a free throw. You don't even give him a chance to shoot it. And those kind of mistakes that are inexcusable. They just really are.
They're the kind of mistakes that get you beat. We'll see if what comes to roost here as Bradley will pass over to Turner. Turner catches it back from Lance. Scantlin's back into the game for the Harriers as, this three off the mark. That would have tied the game.
I'll tell you what, he's feeling it right there. That's a bit of a heat check there by Marshall, but hey, like I said, this guy's coming here with no conscience at all, with a point to prove, no less.
Just over 6 to go. It'll be Jolly. Back to Eddings. And a foul called on the floor. We'll see who the guilty party is. Is it Bradley? If he holds up a 1, his night's over.
Wow.
And it is Jamison Bradley taking his 5th foul of the game.
I mean, he can be upset, and that's a borderline foul. But here's the thing. You gave yourself a foul earlier, man. You have nobody to blame but yourself right now.
Brady and I are going to take a media timeout. We are back in 1 minute.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And we're back to it on the Saints Sports Network. 52-49 is our score. Harriers hanging on in there, but they're going to have to play the rest of this game without Jamison Bradley.
Well, and he played well. He was 5 of 6 from the floor, scoring 10 points, but unfortunately, he got a technical foul called against him when he was, a little showmanship as far as taunting a Thomas More player, and that turned out to be the difference as far as his early exit, because he gets called on a nickel dimer for number 5 when, quite frankly, it should have been number 4. So honestly, I hate to say this, but he's really only got himself to blame there.
Wyatt Veith.
And his coach is going to tell him that too.
Oh, I'm sure. Here's Veith hitting the first of 2 free throws that he will get. Saints now up by 2 shots. It'll be 53-49.
Nine fouls called against Miami Hamilton, so it's the double bonus for Thomas More for the rest of the game here with 5:57 left. Thomas Moore's only committed 3 fouls. At some point, they're going to have fouls to give in case that becomes an issue. But right now, it's a 5-point Thomas More lead, 2 possessions. You're keeping track at home.
It's going to be Kean. Oh, a nice feed to Scantlin, then back outside for 3. Aiden Turner. Perfection.
Beautiful inside-out play. Great recognition on the kick out of the post, on the high post, no less, by Josh Scantlin out of New Madison, Ohio.
Jacob Jones. Now Jolly facing up Lance, having to work through a couple of defenders and gets it to Veith. Veith trying to stay on his feet, ends up missing it, and the Harriers, a dive for the basketball. In the scrum, a timeout called by the Harriers. They're going to have it down to 5:03 to go.
Well, there was just more red jerseys on the floor for that 50-50 ball. They earned it. Cody Lance ended up with it. It was very intelligent basketball play in order to call that timeout. And they're going to keep it, I guess, here with a 30-second timeout.
Indeed they will. Brady, let's take a look at these stats so far through, about 35 minutes in this game. Rebounding pretty even between these two teams. Thomas More does have 9 offensive rebounds, but ultimately the Saints just haven't been able to put away this Harrier team. They've been able to lead for a majority of this ball game, just haven't been able to get that separation. Yeah,
Thomas More, and this is something that if something were to happen and they don't come away with a win, at the free throw line, 6 out of 12. That has got to get cleaned up for sure. And defensively, they have given up 51% shooting from the floor out of Miami Hamilton. Those are the 2 things that really stick out to me as far as on the stat sheet.
Lance giving over to Kehan. 15 to shoot for Marshall.
I like how Miami Hamilton does not get sped up. They're going to run their stuff at their own pace. But they're running out of time here. 4 on the timer. They're going to have to heave from the logo, Nate. Oh!
If that had gone in, momentum wouldn't even be a good way to describe what they would have flowing behind them.
Now, they let that get a little bit out of hand there as far as that goes. It was good defense by Thomas More, but I do like how they're not being hurried. And then a foul called on the arm against Scantlin is going to send Jolly to the line.
Reed Jolly in this ball game so far. 3 for 4 from the line.
Jolly and Veet, they're both 3 for 4 at the line, but you got, an 0 for 1, an 0 for 2, and an 0 for 1, and those add up.
Jolly hits a free throw, so that helps at least. Jolly having still a pretty good game, 17 points,
Talk
8
about
rebounds.
tightening the rotation up here in this second half. We've seen very little of Scotty Drown, and we've not seen Matt Smith at all or Thomas More. Pretty much just gone with 6 here for the most part here in this second half. That includes the 5 on the floor along with Noah Pack.
Oh, a nice pass to Scanlon, and the mismatch as he had several inches on Jacob Jones.
Really, I'm going to take that back. Derek Eddings is out there. He hasn't played a whole lot. Really, it's been the 4 minus Eddings with Pack out there for the most part. A little bit of Drown, a little bit of Eddings, but Coach Ray is stuck to the 5 that he trusts, and there's a steal, and Kean's got a breakaway.
Nice job by Kean to put it in the hole. Tie ball game.
Just can't be casual with the basketball, and that's what happened there with Thomas More, and Kean made him play. That's that West Side toughness. GCL South, brother.
It's Veith giving off to Jolly. Veith facing some tough defense.
Oh, that was almost a steal there.
Jolly ends up getting fouled. Another call coming in for Reed Jolly as he'll have a chance to put his team back in the lead.
See who this is. If it's Lance or if it's Marshall, it is Lance. And that's his 3rd. They're starting to pile up on him as well. And Reed Jolly is doing what veteran scorers do. And that's creating through contact and getting to the free throw line. Now he just has to cash in. And he does rattle that one through the friendly rim.
So the Saints just poke their nose in front. Make it by 2. It'll be Marshall. Giving off to Kean. 3:10 to go in a 1-score ball game. Turner on the left side finds some space and just couldn't finish.
And then Turner came up lame. And how about Jones? And he can't finish. Oh! But watch Turner, number 12. They're going to, the officials are going to call their own timeout and get him out of there. When he came down, it looked like he might have hyperextended his knee, but right now he's going for the back of his calf, so it's going to be a cramp, and that is good news for everybody involved there.
See if he can get back in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, when the calves tighten up on that, it looks like a knee injury. And look at Marshall, little give and go action in the finish by the little guy, and it's tied again this time at 58.
Keep it simple. It's working out so far for the Harriers. As Jacob Jones has it on the wing. Now Jolly. Back to Veith.
See if they can create an action to get Jolly open. Instead, George takes it for a rack attack, and he'll go to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play, Nate.
Casey George, relatively quiet evening for him, but he comes through big time as Thomas Moore's back up front. Gonna have a chance for the three-point play. 5 points for him.
Bobby Hammond will get Turner back in there. Sorry about that, Nate, but Turner will get back in there after a quick little lube job, I guess you'd call it, if it was a pit stop. And now, before the second free throw, it looks like Coach Ray wants to call a timeout. Hope he's not icing his own kicker here. But Coach Ray feels like it's important enough right now at the 2:20 mark to get his troops together and figure this out, be on the same page.
Speaking of icing the kicker, Brady, a lot of great action coming up here at Thomas More University. We mentioned the men's basketball team going to take on Kent State Tuscarawas at 7 o'clock on Saturday, but earlier in the day, the football team going to take on the University of the Cumberlands, who are coming in.
Senior day, my friend.
Yeah, it's at 1:30, so why not make a whole day out of it, Saints fans? Get down here early, tailgate, watch the game, come on through, watch some basketball later on.
But pace yourself.
Yes, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We need to remember that on a what will
You
be.
need to remember that name.
You're probably right. More often than not. I'm not a tattoo guy, but that would not be a bad idea to tattoo on my arm.
You and Matt Sexton will be on the call for both of those. I, of course, will not be here for either one of them. I'll try to have my presence felt on at least one of those pregame shows. Not that anybody watches those, but it is soon to be award-winning.
Soon to be one of these days.
Probably once I get off of it.
I'm not so sure. You're our guy in Northern Kentucky.
Yeah,
so
well, I don't know about all that, man, but I'll be, on 2 different special assignments. That was a date that I had in the calendar for weeks and weeks and months that I kind of dreaded because I knew I was going to work twice, and it turned out it was going to be at 2 different places than I anticipated.
Back to the action as Casey George is at the free throw line. And the kicker was not iced. It's good on the free throw, so good job by George.
Because Thomas More, they were at least, they made probably 4 or 5 of them in a row after they had started out very poor at the free throw line. What were they, like 3 for their first 8? 3 for their first 9? And that is a bad turnover there by Miami Hamilton. And that was an indication of them getting sped up on offense. Give the credit to Thomas More. And Miami Hamilton did not handle that pressure well.
See what the Saints can do now to try to make this a 2-score game. Starters all on the floor for Thomas More.
I look for Jolly to touch the ball here. They got it to him. He's got a mismatch here.
Veith with the step back. Oh, you betcha!
The little 3 goggles as he puts it in the holster. And yes, you're right. That is a 2-possession game for the Saints under the 2-minute mark.
It's Turner. Harriers needing a bucket.
Can't panic, got to get a score and then a stop, and that's off of Marshall, and that was all Casey George there.
George able to knock it away. Saints with a chance to really put this one out of reach if they can knock a bucket down on this trip.
Yeah, especially with the way this game has been played here and, with the time running down. If you can get points here for Thomas More, you might be able to start up the bus.
Foul's going to be called on the floor. That's going to result in some free throws. Noah Pack going to head to the line, a career 60% free throw shooter.
That's a great job there by Josh Scantlin to deny the entry pass because if Pack gets it, it's an automatic dunk right there. So now you're going to make him earn it at the free throw line where Pack is 0 for 1 in his only attempt so far. 61% free throw shooter last year, and he's still looking for his first of the night.
Pack, if he makes this, it would be a tie for the largest lead of the game for the Saints. But most importantly, put them up by 3 scores. Shot is good, so Pack does connect from the charity stripe, and now the Saints got to defend.
Now, you can't be married to the three-point shot here, but you've got to be able to score if you're Miami Hamilton.
3 quickly taken. Oh, and it's good. Mike Gokian from downtown.
Look at that. He says, what are you talking about up there, man? I'll get this 3. She's just going to be my girlfriend, though, and I'm not married to it.
Timeout called by the Harriers. Brady and I going to step away for a quick break. And we're back to it here on the Saints Sports Network. Brady, you and I just talking. Great crowd on hand in the
Fantastic
convocation.
home opening crowd here for Thomas More, and that's what happens when you're number 2 in the nation to start the season. You get people's awareness and their excitement level up there, and, I know it doesn't necessarily feel like it outside, but this is hoops time of year, my friend.
Hoop season is upon us. Weird to think, it's as warm as it is in early November, but
they say
I'm not complaining.
They say it's going to get cold this weekend, preferably on Saturday. and especially Saturday night, especially for those for those playoff games in high school football.
Oh, yeah.
Those athletic teams, man, that's something they're not looking forward to.
Time to run the ball is what that's telling me.
Yeah.
It'll be Casey George, though, and back in basketball land. So cross the timeline and give over to Reed Jolly. Saints looking to take a lot of time off the clock. 16 seconds to shoot. Jolly facing that double team. He'll have to resort to getting it back out to Jones. 8 seconds for Thomas More. Jones loses the handle on it. It's out of bounds. Turnover, TMU.
The handle was definitely not on a string there, and he's forcing it. You don't have to. You're up by whatever it is, 4 points. The last thing you do there is get a turnover. And that's exactly what happened.
And now the Harriers, with a basket, can make this game all interesting all over again.
And again, they don't have to have a 3 here. They just have to score.
It'll be Aiden Turner.
Let's see if Thomas More can dial it up on the defensive end here. They're packing it down low, that's for sure.
Marshall, oh no! What a shot, but it's off the mark.
That was a tough shot there, and that's more of a first available type shot there, but I understand Marshall's mindset. He's here to prove a point. Unfortunately, that did not go in, and that could be the kiss of death for the Harriers. But we'll see here. It's not automatic here at the free throw line. So we see George on the night. He's made his only previous attempt. Last season, he was a good free throw shooter at 82%, and look at that. It's not the announcer's jinx. I did not say that he had made 100 in a row or whatever.
No, nothing like that.
He's missed 100 in a row. How's that sound?
There we go. That's
for all
fair.
you naysayers out there.
Oh, no, and then he misses
See, I
that
did it
one.
both ways, and it didn't matter, but the offensive rebound by Reed Jolly.
And that makes things very difficult, at least
That
on the Harriers.
should be Jolly's 10th rebound for another double-double, his 11th of his career, and there it is. It registers up there. Back-to-back to start the season, and none was any bigger than that one there.
He needed it. Thomas Morris, Coach Justin Ray, hollering for a timeout.
Well, what he's doing now is he's setting his defense for the situation at hand, whether the situation if you make or miss the free throws.
So as Coach Ray discusses the defensive setup with his team, Brady, another year in the Mid-South Conference for Thomas More, the final year in the Mid-South Conference before they make their move over to the GMAC, which, of course, they are in the transition process currently.
Midwestern Athletic Conference, just so that you know. Yeah, it should be interesting, that's for sure, but you got to get through the NAIA first, and you're not going to get anybody doing you any favors on the way out the door. They're going to kick you in the butt going out the door as opposed to patting you on the back. So, it's going to be a war every single night.
With the likes of Georgetown, who's ranked 9th, Cumberland ranked 20th, and the University of the Cumberland's receiving votes. This Mid-South Conference shaping up to be very difficult to get.
Always is. Never a night off.
The Wyatt Veith at the line. Saints by a handful.
This one here will be the key one here because now you'd have to get 2 3-pointers if my math is correct. And that's just to tie the game.
And it is. And your math is correct. We'll see what the Harriers can do.
I was hesitant. No, I didn't. Oh, wait a minute now. Didn't show confidence. But Keehan does, and that is some oxygen. That might be it, Nate Metz.
Oh, a save, though, from the Harriers. They got to throw one up. It is off the mark. Pat grabs it, and the Saints go marching. They fought to the wire, but they win at 67-61.
Well, give all credit to Miami Hamilton. They walked in here, and they weren't going to take any charity from anybody as they were looking to get a big-time win here, and they just came up a bit short. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be a good coaching point for Justin Ray after this one.
It certainly will. We'll have I would imagine, a post-game conference in the Athletic Hall of Fame room.
That is what the plan was.
I believe so, and that'll, of course, be up on social media platforms and whatnot. Go check out Thomas More Saints at TMU Saints for more on those social platforms, or go to thomasmoresaints.com. Updated nearly every day. Make sure you stay connected with your Saints. Brady, before we go, final thought on this one.
Tell you what, man, escape to the win there. All wins are good, but man, that one was definitely in doubt until the very last couple of minutes there. And again, that's a good learning lesson here. I mean, you did two things. You came out of it with a win, and you're able to, pretty much be able to set the tone for your team and have some coachable teaching moments there for Justin Ray and his staff.
And Thomas More now 2-0 on the year, looking to get to 3-0 when they take on Tuskegee, old Kent State Tuscarawas, who come into town for a 7 o'clock tip-off on Saturday night here in the Connor Convocation Center. Get on down here. We'll see you then. For Brady Labor, my color man, my producer, Michael Pagano, I am Nate Metz. I'll talk to you all later next time on the Saints Sports Network. Good night, everybody.